Good morning, Barcelona fans. Let me start that again. Good morning, Barcelona fans. It is time to wake up and Barca. We're going to catch up on all the Barcelona news, the transfer rumors going into January. Yes, indeed. We're going to catch up with each other while we have some caffeine. That's what we do here on Wake Up in Barca. In today's episode, we're going to take a look back at the dramatic 3-2 victory against Elche. We'll go over the good, the bad, and the Barca in today's episode. And then we're going to take a look ahead forward. We're going to look at tomorrow's match against Sevilla. It is a makeup match, so we're going to get our match in hand out of the way, hopefully climb back up to the table. And folks, if we get a win against Sevilla tomorrow, we're actually going to be in a much better position than what you might think. We'll talk about all that. Plus, of course, January transfer rumors on today's episode of Wake Up and Barca. Let's go ahead and kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right. Intro is off. Good morning, Culers. Good morning, Levi. Good morning, Chang. You guys are starting off in a negative mood. I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm feeling like Barcelona got their first win in 5 matches. I'm feeling like our youngsters are doing everything that we could possibly ask of them. I'm thinking that Xavi is under the worst conditions a manager could possibly have, and he's getting results. I'm feeling positive, my friends. Yes, we're going to have a tough match against Sevilla. No, it's not a guaranteed 3 points. But to say that we're definitely going to lose, come on. Come on, my friends. We're better than that. You guys know this. And like I said, in today's episode, just to give you a little preview, we are going to be doing the good, the bad, and the Barca, where we will be going, of course, what was good about the match, what was bad about the match, what was Barca about the match. And that can be a lot of things, but it will be sometimes a runner-up to the mustache man of the match. Sometimes it's a honorable mention for other reasons. Sometimes it's just something very Barcelona-esque that happened during the match. And then, of course, we will be giving out the mustache man of the match. All that happening in today's episode. And then we'll jump over and we'll start talking about Barcelona versus Sevilla. That's all going to happen on today's episode. But before we get into that, let's turn to the chat, see how folks are doing. How we doing, chat? The Stash Squad. Sem, good morning to you, sir. Says, I can finally watch your Wake Up in Barca since my school and country's in lockdown. Ay, ay, ay. Where are you watching from, Sam? Are you from Australia or UK? I know COVID is ramping back up, unfortunately. Chang says, out 8 months due to your broken arm. I'm sorry to hear that, my dude. But figure out something to do in the meantime that doesn't take 2 arms. Don't just let that time go to waste. That can be 8 months of focused training on something if you want to. So make use of that time, good sir. Who else we got here? Kudis, when are we hanging out next week, my brother? I'm going to be in town. We're going to get together, me, you, Kyle Cash, talk about the old times, talk about the current times, talk about the future. It's all happening. Sam, you're from the Netherlands. Right on, brother. I don't hear a lot of news about the Netherlands. Get a lot of Australia news coming in the U.S. these days. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. So, folks, looking at the match against Sevilla, gotta say, I was very excited. Next week, Kudis, next week. Or no, this week. What day is today? Monday. Today's Monday. I'm coming in Thursday evening. I'll be in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, my dude. Back to Elche. Could not have made it more dramatic. I mean, I guess we could have if we really wanted to. Got a 2-0 lead in the first half. Hukla scored off of a corner in the 16th minute. Shortly thereafter, Gavi getting his first La Liga goal for Barcelona. Clever little turn to get around the midfielder. Then dip of the shoulder to beat the center back. Slides it past the keeper. Mwah. It was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That 2-0 lead lasted us through the first half and on through 60 minutes. But then in the 62nd minute, we gave up 1 goal. Fell asleep. It was a throw-in for Elche. Araujo went for the tackle, missed. That created a 3-on-2 opportunity. Langley poured one-on-one marking, gets beat, ends up 2-1. You think, okay, whatever, shake that off, move forward. And then a minute later, we're falling asleep again, this time It's honestly, I blamed Eric for this one. I really did. I think it was Eric's fault on this one. And Ter Stegen maybe should have been calling out that there was a man open on the back post. I digress. 2-0 lead, gone. It's 2-2. We're in the 63rd minute. Barcelona continue to press high, continue on with majority of the possession. We're creating chances, but we just can't get in the back of the net. And then on comes Nico. And almost 10 minutes later, after coming onto the pitch, scores the match winner provided by Gavi. Excellent performance from Barcelona. If we look at some of these stats, 19 shots, 8 on target for Barcelona. That's a much better number than what we've been seeing previously. Barcelona this season have struggled to get shots on target. It's because we're not creating clear opportunities. That's very obvious. Only allowed 3 shots on target. That's much better, again, than what we've seen previously. But the point remains that we are having mental lapses on the defensive side. We fall asleep once, twice, sometimes 3 times a game where we can play very sound defense, but then you fall asleep a couple times a game. That's all it takes. That's all it takes sometimes. 74% possession. You love to see that. 713 passes, more than double of what Elche put out. 90% passing accuracy. That's where you want to be. When Barcelona dips below 85% passing, when we start getting below 65% possession, that's when you know Barcelona are in trouble. 5 corners, and we finally scored off of one. My goodness. We are what, in December? We are halfway through this year almost, and I think this is the first quarter that we scored off directly. Not like corner sent in, knocked around, and then put in for the goal. But this is the first one directly that we've gotten. Whew. So like I said, didn't make it easy on us, but we did it. We got the win. First win in 5 matches, a very important win. And then that puts us, let's jump over to the La Liga table. That puts us in 7th for now. We were in 8th, but I'll say this, folks, and we'll talk about this a little bit later going into Sevilla. Real Madrid, 43 points, sitting top. They're clear favorites. I mean, I know Sevilla, if they were, it's not going to happen, but if Sevilla were to get 3 points from Barcelona, they'd be right back in the hunt, actually. Betis, Vallecano, rounding out the top 4. Nobody saw that coming. All of a sudden, Ronald Koeman doesn't look so bad for losing to Rayo. Atletico Madrid and Sociedad slipping down into 5th and 6th. And folks, look, we've got 1 match in hand on Sociedad. If we win that match, we will leapfrog them. Hope that Atletico don't get any points in their makeup match. We could be even on the top 4 with a win against Sevilla. We can be even on points with Rayo, leapfrog Atletico, and Sociedad. Atletico, like I said, they do have that match in hand, so you got to watch out for that. But we can do it, folks. That win against Elche was big time. Yes, we are in 7th. Yes, we are in a hole that we're digging ourselves out of. Injuries, contracts not being signed, all of this stuff. But we're working on it. Ernest, good morning, sir. Levi, I know you hate the back passes, but when a team is playing compact defensively is how you would put emphasis on that syllable. You have to back pass. You have to spread out a little bit to draw them out to create that space. So I know you hate the back passes, but it's a necessary evil sometimes. Sam says Hukla's runs and fake runs are so nice to have finally some depth in our game. I was very happy with Hukla's performance. I really was. Got the goal off the corner. That's the biggest part. I was very excited about that. So we've gone over the stats. We've gone over the table. My friends, I think it is time for us to jump over and do the good, the bad, and the Barca. 3-2 Elche. Like I said, what we do here on the good, the bad, and the Barca segment is we talk about what was good during the match, what was bad, what was Barca, which that can be a lot of things. Sometimes it's honorable mention or a runner-up to the mustache man of the match. Sometimes it's just something very Barcelona-esque that happened, a particular performance, what have you. So we've got the good, the bad, and the Barca, and then we'll cap it off with the mustache man of the match for Barcelona's 3-2 victory versus Elche. So starting off with the good, my friends, there was a number of things that I could have gone for here. I really appreciated Abde's performance. He continues to impress. Could have also gone Araujo. I think Araujo is proving particularly since Coleman has left, to be our number one defender. He is the Uruguayan Virgil van Dijk. I'm a big fan of him. He presses high. He's not shy about getting stuck in on some tackles. He's got tremendous pace and, of course, his big frame and physicality. But I digress, my friends. This one, of course, I mentioned it earlier. You got to give it to Hukla, baby. Let's go. Finally, Barcelona scoring off of a corner. Hukla getting the header. Not deflected. What am I talking about here? Hukla with a glancing header finds the side netting off of a corner. 16th minute, puts Barcelona up 1-0 in a great position. Love to see it. So Hukla, congratulations, gets the good box for this one. Moving on to bad. Okay, so honestly, I could have gone a number of ways with this. All right, I'll say Frankie de Jong is on a red box alert. All right, I'm a huge fan of Frankie. Big fan of Frankie. With Gavi's performance emerging early, with Busquets' performance hanging on and I'll say outplaying my expectations for this year. I thought that maybe this would be the one that Busquets needs to hang it up, but he ain't hanging him up. He's hanging out there. So de Jong might lose his place in the starting 11 once Pedri comes back if he continues to play. So I'll just point that out. Not happy with de Jong's performance. He is on red alert, we'll say. But for this one, the bad box overall goes to the defense falling asleep. Okay, that's collectively. So, Araujo, you were this close to a good box, but giving up those 2 goals as part of the back 3 or 4, however you want to look at it, unacceptable. All right? Like I said, the first one, Elche scored. Throw in the attacking half, just in front of the midfield line. Araujo goes in for a tackle, misses it. Eric and Langley not paying attention. We get caught on a counterattack. Langley not very good defending. 1-on-1. Ter Stegen gets beat. It's 2-1. A minute later, Elche have the ball on the right-hand side, looping cross over everybody to the back post, and there were 3 defenders standing in the box marking nobody. And then there's a man wide open back post, puts in the back of the net, 2-2. Made it way too hard on us. Way too hard. So the bad is our defense falling asleep all too often. We have to shake out that habit. We have to be focused for 90 minutes if we wanted to get back to that elite level. That's what we're after here, folks. Now to the Barca. This one's fun for me. It can be a lot of things. This time it is an honorable mention for the mustache man of the match, and it is our match winner, Nico, coming off the bench, doing what he needs to do, making an immediate impact and getting the match winner, like I said, in the 85th minute. Much needed 3 points for Barcelona. Tremendous performance, but he didn't start. He wasn't on the pitch for very long, so that kind of dings him a couple of points, puts him in the Barca box. Plus, when you got a guy who scores his debut La Liga goal for Barcelona, and he scores a tremendous golazo, and he sets up the match-winning goal, you got to give the mustache man of the match to none other than Gavi, my friends. Let's go. Tremendous performance from Gavi. Like I mentioned earlier, early development, Barcelona B player technically, brought up because he was doing well for Barcelona B. We had some injuries. He's gotten some looks for Spain. He's now becoming a regular starter for Spain, a regular starter for Barcelona. Yes, he has a 50 million euro buyout clause. That's a little bit nervy right now, but we're working on a new contract. And what we saw in the match against Elche, further reason to get pen to paper. Laporta was talking about it in recent reports, saying that they've worked out the details. Year to year, he's going to get paid more and more. There's going to be some other add-ons in there, and they're going to change out that 50 million euro buyout clause. That's going to be increased. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something closer to $1 billion, like we saw with Ansu and Pedri. So there it is, folks. The good, the bad, and the Barca for Barcelona. 3-2 over Elche. Very exciting stuff, my friends. Okay, what do we think? Updated segment. The good, the bad, and the Barca. What did I miss? Should I change any of the boxes? Do you think someone else should have been in the good, the bad, or the Barca? Do you disagree with the man of the match? Levi says, honorable mention to the Elche goalkeeper for wasting time. Ernest says, Frankie de Jong's just tired, according to Xavi. That's a possibility. When everything's going well, we would have a rotation of our midfielders going on a little bit more. Like, especially now that we're going to be getting into Copa del Rey. Once that starts happening, and we're playing 2 matches a week, we're going to have healthy players because Busquets cannot play 2-3 times a week for as well as he's performing. It's just not going to happen. It ain't happening, my friends. Chang says we shouldn't have conceded. Agreed. That should have been 2-0. Excuse me. 2-0 easy victory, but didn't happen. We are unfortunately still at a point where we lose focus. We fall asleep a couple times a match, 3 times a match sometimes. Levi asked, when is Pedri back? Pedri and Ansu are both looking like they're going to be back in January, unfortunately. So, well, it's not too far away. I say unfortunately, it's not too far away. So, a few more weeks, but I think it is mid-January. It's not like early January, unfortunately. Excuse me. I am just grabbing what I need to do. Sevilla lineup predictions here. Make sure I got everything. Ade, Akamacho, Alvaro. I think I have everybody. I think we're good. Yes. Okay. Jaime might be on there. I think I have him though. Let me see. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I promise it'll make sense in a minute. It's funny. Okay. So now that I got that set up, we're good there. One more time, looking at the chat. Levi says, thank God Copa del Rey isn't 2 legs anymore. Oh, I didn't realize they made that change. You sure it's not 2 legs? Or is it just the early rounds? I feel like it might just be the early rounds aren't 2 legs. Because this is the round of 32. But I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. I missed that headline if we did switch to just a 1-match playoff. Amarish says, can you please tell me why Umtiti is so stubborn? I don't know. Apparently he loves Barcelona and he doesn't want to leave. Can you blame him? Sam says we always have to make matches harder than they should be. Not always, but this year that seems to be our MO. Chang says Sevilla beat Atletico. So what? Sharif beat Real Madrid. That doesn't mean that, like, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like, this team beat that team, so this team can beat that team, and that team didn't beat that team, so they couldn't beat that. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You're telling me we can't beat Sevilla because Sevilla beat Madrid and Madrid beat us? That's not how it works, my dude. It's not how it works. Anyway, what we can do is we can talk about how Barcelona are going to line up against Sevilla. Again, that match is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a kickoff time of 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, my time. Figure that out for you. We got Culers from around the world watching. And by the way, if you have not done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can be part of the conversation while we are here for the live watch-along party for Barcelona versus Sevilla. We'll be going live, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before kickoff. We'll do a full match preview and prediction. We'll talk about the starting 11, which will be officially released by then. But for now, we are going to speculate on the starting 11, the scoreline. We'll see what we can come up with here while we predict Sevilla versus Barcelona match preview. First and foremost, I think this is, I just want to double check. Yes, this is an away match. So Barcelona going into this one in 7th place, but with a chance to jump up and be equal on points with the number 4 team, Rayo Vallecano. So who's going to be our starting 11, folks? You know how we like to start things out here. Give me one player, what position they're going to be in, what formation we're starting out with, and we'll go from there. While you're thinking about it, I'm going to mark out the players that are injured. That includes Fati. That includes Memphis. That includes Goatweight. That includes Roberto. That includes Pedri. Goes on and on and on. That includes Dest for right now. I think that's it. I think that's all of our injuries. We'll go ahead and gray those folks out so we know that they are unavailable. So give me one player. What position are they starting in? What formation are we going with? Xavi is keeping us on our toes. Hard to predict what he's going to line up with. What we saw in versus Elche was starting out in a 4-3-3 defensively, but then on the attack, we quickly switched to a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3 at times, or even weirder, a 3-2-3-2-1, depending on how you want to look at it. Very fluid, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. All right, I'm seeing votes for 4-3-3, shouts for Alba. Another shout for Alba in a 4-3-3. Sem calling for a midfield of Gavi, Nico, and Busi. I don't think... we'll see. I mean, we did just have a match 2 days ago. We'll see, but it's a big one, though. I don't think Frankie de Jong gets left off for this one. And you know what? In fact, just because I want to be supportive, I'm starting with him. I'm starting with Frankie. All right? We're going to build this out in a traditional 4-3-3, and then I'll show you what Xavi does once we actually get the ball on the attack. So you know who's going to be holding things down defensively on the midfield side. That's going to be Busquets. Alongside them, Gavi. I'm telling you, once Pedri comes back, it's going to be a tough decision. I know De Jong is not playing up to snuff right now. This is not the De Jong that we know he can be. But putting him on the bench would be a mistake. I honestly think even though Busquets is playing better than De Jong, it is a better decision for our future to let Busquets take a seat and have De Jong, Gavi, Pedri run that midfield. It's the right thing to do. If we're not going to win anything this year anyway, why not take a look to the future? And I'm not saying bench Busquets and not let him play, but I'm saying get lots of playing time as much as you can with Gavi, Pedri, and De Jong, because that is the midfield of the future. Anyway, for this match, I'm going Gavi, De Jong, Busquets in the midfield. I'm going back to a back four with Alba. Piqué will be back for this match. He was serving yellow card suspension for the match against Elche, so Piqué is going to be back. And then our defensive player of the year so far, Araujo, he's going to be in there. But Des, I think, is still going to be unavailable, so Araujo might be forced to play right back. And it should be Langley sliding in there next to Piqué, which actually means that Piqué is going to be playing more on the right side, with Piqué playing on that left center back position. That's what I'm thinking back for the back four. Although some people are complaining that Ter Stegen's struggling, I think he's doing just fine. It's a frustrating team in front of him, if anything else. So Ter Stegen, of course, gets to start between the posts. That's what we're looking at so far. Alba, Langley, Piqué, Araujo as the back four. Gavi, Busquets, De Jong in the midfield. Our front three, a little bit of a surprise last match going with Hukla, but you're not going to get me again, Xavi. I know what's happening. Hukla scored the goal off of the corner in the match against Elche, starting things off right for Barcelona. Abde is going to be on that left-hand side, continues to impress. His dribbling ability is out of this world. His confidence is top-notch, but he needs to pick his head up and look for the pass once he gets around the defenders. That's number one thing that he could work on right now, is just get your head up, look for the pass. That's all I'll say about that, but very excited for his future. Right-hand side is Dembele. Glad to see him back to match fit. 90 minutes match fit, I should say. It's been a long time. So glad to see him in the starting lineup. Glad to see him getting 90 minutes of playing time. So this is what we'll look like defensively. All right, and I talk about this a lot, but when Barcelona is defending, we are in a more traditional 4-3-3 or even a 4-4-2 at times, depending on how our opponent is lined up. But as soon as we get the ball, here's what happens. Abde goes all the way out wide. Dembele goes all the way out wide. They're hugging these touch lines. Gavi slides in here. De Jong slides in here. Alba pinches in, and he was actually, this is what was strange. This is just for the last match. This is what was a little bit wild about this. Alba actually pinched in here, and they had like a dual defensive mid going on with Alba and Busquets, and it ended up looking like this when we were on the ball offensively. So if you look at that, it's a 3-4-3. If you want to argue that maybe it was a little bit more like this at times, I'll give you that as well. But that's still when you break it down, a 3-4-3 or a 3-1-3-3, however you want to look at it. So defensively, 4-back. As soon as we get the ball, we switch to more of a 3-back. Boosie can slide in back here. And there's also times when Araujo was pushed up here, and you saw Piqué and Langley kind of fill those spots here, and Busquets was more of the back three. And then you had Gavi here, De Jong here. Xavi, tactical genius, not afraid to shake things up. But that's how it kind of ends up looking when we're on the ball. And then as soon as we lose it, of course, Langley drops back, Piqué drops back, Araujo drops back, Alba drops back. Busquets goes to his defensive role. Gavi and De Jong, box-to-box midfielders. And then Dembele and Abde get back and play a little defense when they need to down those wings. So that's what I'm thinking, folks. That's what I'm thinking for our lineup. What would you change? I saw somebody shout Nico in for De Jong. That wouldn't be my choice. I would keep it like this. And I'm okay with it. I'm glad that Hukla is getting time to break through. Listen, we're probably going to bring in some reinforcements in January. There's reports saying that the Cavani deal is all but done. Ferran Torres might also come in. So some of these youngsters, their opportunity, their window of opportunity, I should say, is starting to close. Akamak, Demir, probably not going to be making the senior squad once we have Ansu, Braithwaite, maybe someone coming in off the transfer market in January. You know what I mean? So we'll see. They got to make the most of their time, and they are. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Abde. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Hukla. I know it's going to be a tough match. Sevilla in second place right now. They are 6 points behind Madrid with a match in hand, so they're going to be desperate to get 3 points at home. I'm actually thinking a draw for this one. I'm thinking a 2-2 draw. Goals from Gavi and Araujo. I think Araujo is going to get a header. I think Gavi's going to score in back-to-back matches. Araujo's going to get a header. But I don't think it's going to be Barcelona giving up the lead this time. I think we're going to have to fight and come back. That's what I'm thinking. So that's the lineup. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I got anything wrong, formation or personnel. But I'm going to go 2-2 draw away from home to Sevilla, and I think that's a good result for us. I'd be happy with that. What do you think, folks? 3:30 kickoff. We're going to be here live on the Undefeated channel. We'll be cheering on the Blaugrana. You all will be participating in the chat with Culers from around the world while we cheer ourselves on to victory. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a good time. You Stupid, good morning, sir. Says, I like the tactics Xavi put together versus Elche, but he needs horses to get back on defense. Sure. Good thought. Levi says, Sevilla are just run better than us. Meh. You know what I mean? I would say not currently. Not currently. For the last few years, having the El Presidente and the board that we did, no good. It is what it is. That's all right, Levi. You can get your prediction in tomorrow. We'll be going live, like I said, right around 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Figure out what that is for you. We're going to be doing the live commentary play-by-play. You won't miss any of the action. We'll have the chat going on with Culers from around the world, so you can hang out with the Stash Squad here on the Undefeated channel. It's going to be a good time, my friends. It's going to be a good time. Could be a rough one, all right? Just kind of thinking through possibilities here. It could be a rough one, obviously. We'll see. We're in it together. Either way, we are in it together, my friends. So one more time, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can be part of the conversation with Culers from around the world as we cheer on the Blaugrana. We've got Wake Up and Barca every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on the Undefeated channel, your morning Barcelona news show. And then we are here for all the Barcelona matches, including Sevilla versus Barcelona tomorrow, 3:30. We'll be starting things off with a pregame show at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you there. My friends, thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. I'll see y'all next time. Mwah.